Ladies and gentlemen, I have to give the Oklahoma City Thunder credit as they pursue Chris Paul. They traded for Chris Paul, right? It's a simple mechanism to what they're doing. There's a reason why they traded for Chris Paul. I know people are like, why would you trade your franchise guy, Russell Westbrook, for more picks, and then you're going to get Chris Paul in that locker room for what, half a week, and then you're going to trade Chris Paul possibly to Miami? There's a fundamental reason why the Oklahoma City Thunder traded Chris Paul, and I want to break it down to you. It's not that complex. In regards to the Thunder, Sam Presti and company, they know where Chris Paul is at in his career. He's 34 years old, right? He's got 3 years, $124 million left on his deal. They know he's that desire to win a championship. The Thunder are literally playing off of Chris Paul's desire to win a championship, right? They know they just traded their franchise, both their franchise guys, one being Paul George, their MVP candidate last year. They know they're not in contention to win a championship. They're in full rebuild mode. So what they're doing right now is playing off of Chris Paul's want to play for a contending team at this point in his career. It's actually brilliant, right? They're playing off of his desire to want to win and not play in Oklahoma City at this stage in his career. So they're literally hoping for Chris Paul to walk in and say, I don't want to play here. If he doesn't do that, then he'll have to play in Oklahoma City. Worst case scenario for the Thunder, they pay him big money, and for the next 3 years, they at least got one guy that can put some butts in some seats, right? A name that you know they'll benefit from the jersey sales. But best case scenario, Chris Paul, like I said, walks in and says, I don't want to be here. Move me immediately. The Thunder don't want him. They don't want Chris Paul. They wouldn't have traded Chris Paul with Russell Westbrook. Chris Paul is an unhealthier Russell Westbrook. And what I mean by that is neither of the guys, in my opinion, at this point in their careers are the best versions of themselves. Two different games, but definitely not the best version of themselves at this present time that we've seen in the past, right? So the Thunder also see, the Memphis Grizzlies are doing it as well. If you look around, they see the landscape of that, not the NBA draft, that lottery that happened over a month ago. That's what's going on right now. Let's put on the screen real quick the picks that the Oklahoma City Thunder have compiled over the last few weeks. They have some of their own picks, but they've gotten literally 8 first-round picks in the last few days. They've traded Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and Jeremy Grant in compiled picks. So in 2020, they'll have 2 first-round picks, their own, and they got the Denver Nuggets first-round pick. In 2021, they'll have 2 first-round picks, their own, Miami's as well. They could potentially swap the pick with Houston, right, if they want to. Then in 2022, they'll have 2 first-round picks, their own, and 1 from the Clippers. In 2023, they'll have 2 first-round picks, their own, and could potentially swap out with the Los Angeles Clippers. They also have Miami's as well. 2024, they'll have 3, their own, the Clippers in Houston. 2025, their own, and they can swap it out with the Clippers or Houston. And in 2026, they'll have 3, their own, the Clippers and Houston. And again, this is what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. The lottery changed. Remember the top, 3 out of the 4 teams that were in the lottery? They had no business being in there. The only team that was supposed to be in the top 4 in the lottery were the New York Knicks. Otherwise, look around that lottery. The New York Knicks, the New Orleans Pelicans at 1. They didn't have nowhere near the best chance to get the number 1 pick. The Memphis Grizzlies at number 2, they have no chance. They shouldn't even have been in that round from a statistical standpoint, right? Or what we've seen in the past. And then also the Lakers. They had no business being in the top 3 or 4, right? So that lottery format changed by Adam Silver to get rid of tanking has changed the thought process of small market teams. I don't care about the franchise guy anymore. I don't care about paying a 30-something-year-old Russell Westbrook or Chris Paul. I don't care that they don't want to play for me long term. What I want is the years 18 to 25, 26 out of those young, talented players. And the way to get those really good players is by getting atop the lottery. How you get atop the lottery with the new change to the format is simply by getting more shots at it, right? There's no guarantee. Let's say the Cleveland Cavaliers go out and have the worst record in the league next year. They stink it up. They could very well be picking 8th or 9th this year. Trust me, there are a lot of New York Knicks fans who thought they'd have the number 1 pick. Other teams that were really bad, the Chicago Bulls, thought they would have been picking higher than where they were at. Trust me, this new lottery format has changed the mentality of small market teams, and I kind of like it. There is no guarantee you will get a number 1 pick by tanking. The best chance you can put, the best way to present yourself and put yourself in position to get the number 1 pick is by getting more picks. It's as long as it's in that lottery realm, you're fine. The ball could easily bounce your way. If you got 3 chances at it, even if you have 12, 13, and 14, the 12th worst record, the 13th worst record, and the 14th worst record, there's a good chance you could end up with a number 2, number 3, maybe even a number 1 pick. That's why the Thunder are stockpiling picks. That's why you make a trade for Chris Paul. You're literally playing off his desire to not want to be in Oklahoma City. So you're literally forcing the hand to trade him. And that's probably why he'll end up in Miami Heat. We'll see what happens. The Miami Heat will have to take on a big contract from Chris Paul. We'll see how they work out the pick compensation. But I'm telling you, man, the Thunder really used their brain to acquire Chris Paul. They know he doesn't want to be there, and they want picks for him. That's their mentality. They're probably going to end up with 10 to 12 first-round picks by the end of the summer. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
Mr.Taliaferro.
Taliaferro. Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr.Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV, here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.